One question grade 11 and 12 high school students like you may dread being asked is, where do you see yourself in 10 years? At your age, as a minority or low income student, you are likely imagining things like graduations, getting started with a career to support yourself and your loved ones, whether it be a traditional career or one as a TikTok influencer, perhaps a long term relationship with your current crush or someone you have yet to meet, a drama free group of friends, homes, children, pets, and traveling. Well, I don't mean to burst your bubble, as I genuinely believe you will achieve a lot of these goals. However, as you might already know and have a lot of anxiety about, not a single one of these goals will remain unaffected by the climate crisis. According to the UN, the world's average temperature is predicted to rise by 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2030, near the end of that 10-year period I asked you to think about. One of the main things contributing to this are greenhouse gases that we release, such as carbon dioxide. These gases trap heat in the atmosphere, sort of like a blanket. This causes the temperature to rise, but rising temperatures are not the only effect climate change will have on our planet. What I'd like to discuss with you today is how some of the more indirect effects of climate change might impact the rates at which people get cancer and how well we are able to care for cancer patients. So, what exactly is cancer? Well, cancer is a group of diseases where cells divide uncontrollably and can invade and destroy normal tissues. UV rays from the sun can cause long-term damage to the DNA of our skin cells, leading to skin cancer. And the amount of UV light that reaches us through the atmosphere may be increased by climate change. Also, air pollution inhaled deep into the lungs can cause irritation, interfere with the lung cells' ability to repair themselves, and damage their DNA, increasing the risk of lung cancer. Finally, droughts and crop shortages that occur as a result of climate change may cause many people to rely on contaminated water and processed foods, which are linked to many different types of cancer. Climate change will also affect how well we are able to treat cancer patients. Access to routine screenings and treatments for cancer will be reduced. Imagine your mother or father not being able to get a mammogram or a prostate cancer screening. Hospitals might be overwhelmed or experiencing staff shortages and have limited patient capacity, as well as limited supplies. Climate change might also lead to damages to healthcare infrastructure, for example, buildings that serve as hospitals and clinics, due to extreme weather events like hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, and wildfires. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not going to be most affected by this. Maybe older people who are more likely to develop cancer overall will. Why should I care? Well, while it is true that older people will be disproportionately affected, the youth, you, will have the burden of caring for these patients. Also, low income people, who are more likely to live in polluted areas and have limited access to food and water, as well as people of color who might get cancer at higher rates and have worse treatment outcomes, will also be affected. Now, you might be wondering, what can we do to address this? Well, the most important thing we can do is to vote for officials that believe in policies that can address climate change and cancer at the same time. A lot of these policies involve reducing our greenhouse gas emissions. One example of a policy that could help with this would be to improve public transportation so that we can put less greenhouse gas into the atmosphere and get more exercise. Other policies might help us rely less on the oil and natural gas industries and punish companies that pollute the environment and air. Another important thing we can do in our personal lives is to talk to our friends and family and share information about this subject on social media. Thank you for listening.